I know what quality workmanship looks like, and this isn't it. Not even close. I gestured to the living room of my Apong Vivian and Apong Bernie's bungalow in Half Moon Bay, California, which they left to my parents and me. Look at the flooring! I stabbed my index finger at the ground. I wanted the hardwood planks to run parallel to the fireplace. You installed them perpendicularly, which looks awkward as hell. And Jesus, the fireplace. I march over to the once beautifully rustic fireplace that is now painted the starkest shade of white. I can barely look at it without wincing. Stunning, earthen-hued Mediterranean tiles covered by that blinding coat of white. I left you a voicemail and email last week telling you that I changed my mind about painting it over, I say. But you did it anyway. I go off about how all the doors he installed creak and wobble, how the tile in the master bathroom shower was placed in the incorrect pattern, how every new cabinet door he put up in the kitchen feels loose. Vlad crosses his arms and slow blinks, unfazed by what I'm saying. He couldn't give less of a shit about his fuck-ups. After a few seconds, he finally twists his head to blink at the fireplace. He hacks, not bothering to cover his mouth. Okay, maybe I messed up on the fireplace. But hey, I'm just doing my best here. You weren't even around these past few weeks to give me any guidance. That's on you. I grit my teeth and curse the awful timing of this disaster. I was supposed to be here when the interior remodel kicked off last month, but my great-uncle got sick with pneumonia, so I stayed with my parents at their house just outside San Francisco to help take care of him after he got out of the hospital. He's thankfully recovering, but that meant I couldn't keep tabs on the renovation. I had to trust that Vlad, whom I had met only once before, when we went over the plans at the house and signed the contract, would do his job competently. Clearly, that was a monumental mistake. Today was the first chance I had to check on the progress in person, and it's in shambles. I step forward into Vlad's space. Don't you dare pin this on me. This is your fault, and you know it. His leathery brow lifts as I straighten up to my full height, which isn't saying much, given I'm 5'2", but I don't care. I've gone toe-to-toe with guys twice my size and have never once backed down. If this sloppy contractor thinks I'm going to cower in front of him, he's dead wrong. You've been half-assing this remodel the entire time, I bark at him, ignoring how the handful of contractors working around us suddenly stop and peer over at us. They've done an impressive job of keeping their heads down and pretending like Vlad and I haven't been snapping at each other for the past few minutes. But I guess you can only ignore a train wreck for so long. You need to fix this. Not unless you're going to pay me more money. The audacity of his demand turns my blood to lava. Not a chance. You're fired. Get the hell out of my house. Vlad lets out a choking sound and hunches forward slightly, like someone has just shoved him. You can't fire me. I just did. I point to the front door. Leave. Vlad's 4-man crew seems to understand my command just fine as they quickly pack up their equipment and file out of the house in less than a minute. Vlad glances around at the movement, clearly dazed. When he turns back to me, recognition flashes across his face. Then a scowl. Muttering curses under his breath, he stomps out the door, tripping and nearly falling down before quickly righting his footing. Not cut off at the knees, but good enough. I stand in the empty space and listen to the sound of his truck engine fading in the distance, my head spinning as I process what just happened. I just fired the contractor remodeling my...